Welcome, my dear listener. Tonight, I invite you to leave behind the weight of the day's worries, the noise, the restless thoughts that circle endlessly in your mind. This is your moment, your sanctuary, your gentle doorway into peace that you have given so much of yourself today. You've carried responsibilities, faced challenges, and perhaps felt the heaviness of anxiety pressing quietly on your heart. But here in this story, there is no pressure, no expectations, no need to be anything other than simply you beautiful, human, and deserving of rest. Close your eyes, if you'd like, and take a slow, deep breath. Feel your body sink deeper into comfort. With each inhale, imagine drawing in calmness. And with every exhale, imagine releasing the stress you no longer wish to hold. Tonight, I will take you on a journey to a mystical land called Eldoria, a place bathed in golden light, where the air itself whispers healing and the stars cradle you in safety. It is a place beyond time, created only for you. Here, the trees sing lullabies, the rivers carry away your worries, and the very light of the land tenderly dissolves your fears. As you listen, let the words wash over you like a soft blanket. There is no need to follow every detail, for the story itself is designed to help your mind drift gently and peacefully into deep, nourishing sleep. Remember this: you are safe, you are cared for, and you are not alone. This is your time to heal, to rest, and to dream. So let us step together into Eldoria, where peace awaits you, where light embraces you, and where the healing of your heart begins. Asterisk, the call of the light. Asterisk, the night was quiet, resting gently over the world like a silken blanket. The last colors of twilight had already faded, leaving behind a canvas of deep blue sky, speckled with stars that glimmered like tiny lanterns scattered by some celestial hand. A soft breeze stirred the leaves outside your window, and as you lay back, allowing your body to relax, you felt an invisible pull, a gentle call, as though the night itself wished to cradle you, guide you, and carry away the stress that had lingered far too long. Asterisk, it was not the usual kind of night. Something about it felt different, almost alive, as if the stillness held a secret waiting just for you. You closed your eyes, breathing deeply, and in that moment of quiet surrender, the story began to unfold. Asterisk, you found yourself standing at the edge of a meadow. The grass stretched tall and golden, moving in ripples with the wind, almost as though the earth itself was breathing beneath it. Above, the stars shimmered brighter than you had ever seen, each one pulsing softly, as though keeping rhythm with the beat of your heart. The air was cool and smelled faintly of lavender and rain, carrying with it a comfort so profound that it melted the tension from your shoulders. Asterisk, somewhere in the distance, you heard the faint trickle of a stream, and closer still, a soft hum, the kind of sound that lives between music and silence, like the very voice of the earth. You followed the sound, your bare feet pressing gently into the warm grass, and as you walked, you noticed the glow far off on the horizon. It wasn't the glow of fire or lamps. It was something more tender, more luminous, a golden light that seemed to pulse with healing warmth. Asterisk. This was Eldoria. Asterisk, and it was calling for you. Asterisk. You walked slowly, unhurried, your body already feeling lighter with every step. The air around you seemed to cradle you like a gentle hand. For the first time in what felt like forever, your mind began to quiet. The racing thoughts that had chased you all day slowed, softened, and then dissolved into the quiet embrace of the night. Asterisk, the meadow gave way to a narrow path lined with silver trees, their bark shimmering faintly under the starlight. Their branches arched above you, creating a canopy that seemed to sway in rhythm with your breath. Every leaf glowed softly as though lit from within, and when the wind passed through them, they sang a delicate song that spoke not in words, but in feelings. Calm, safety, love. Asterisk, you paused for a moment beneath the trees, placing your hand gently against the trunk of one. The bark was warm, alive, pulsing faintly as though the tree itself had a heartbeat. As your palm rested there, you felt something stir within you, a release. It was as if the tree was absorbing your worries, your fears, and your exhaustion, replacing them with stillness. You closed your eyes and allowed yourself to lean against it, the way a child leans against a trusted guardian. Safe and sheltered. Asterisk, the soft song of the trees wrapped around you like a lullaby. And for the first time in days, maybe weeks, maybe longer, you felt the deep truth of this moment. Asterisk, you are not alone. Asterisk, you are held. Asterisk, and you are safe. Asterisk, when you opened your eyes again, the golden glow was closer, guiding you forward like a beacon. The path continued, winding gently through the silver forest. Each step seemed to carry you deeper into peace. The air here was cool but not cold, refreshing but not sharp, like a perfect balance that nourished both body and soul. Asterisk, the hum you had heard earlier grew louder, though still soft, almost like a whisper. And then you saw it, the stream you had heard before. It sparkled under the starlight, its waters glowing faintly as though infused with moonlight itself. The stream's song was gentle, a constant murmur that seemed to wash over your mind like a blanket of calm. Asterisk, you knelt by the water, dipping your hand into its surface. The moment your fingers touched it, warmth spread through you, not the warmth of heat, but the warmth of comfort, of being soothed. You cupped a small handful, brought it to your lips, and drank. The water was unlike anything you had ever tasted, sweet, pure, and calming. It seemed to move through your body like light, dissolving the knots of tension, untangling the tight cords of worry, and leaving behind only serenity. Asterisk. For a while, you stayed by the stream, listening to its endless murmur, watching the way it flowed without hurry, without fear. You realized then that the stream carried no resistance. It simply moved forward, over rocks, around bends, always flowing, always trusting the path laid before it. And in that reflection, you felt a lesson stir within you. Perhaps you too could flow like the stream, not fighting every obstacle, not clinging to every stone, but trusting that the path ahead, however winding, would always carry you exactly where you needed to go. Asterisk. The thought lingered in your mind like a soft echo, even as you rose and continued on your way. The golden glow was stronger now, spilling into the trees ahead like morning light before dawn. You followed it with steady steps, your body moving with ease, your breath deep and calm. Asterisk. At last, the forest opened into a wide clearing, and there it was, the source of the glow dot. Asterisk. In the center of the clearing stood a great crystal, taller than any tree, its surface glowing with golden light. The crystal pulsed gently in and out as though it were breathing along with you. Around its base grew flowers unlike any you had ever seen, soft blue petals tipped with silver, their fragrance sweet and soothing, almost like honey and jasmine combined. Asterisk. You approached slowly, drawn by the warmth of the crystal's glow. Every step seemed to bring more light into you, until you could feel it filling your chest, your heart, your very soul. The golden radiance was not just light. It was healing itself, manifest in form. It reached into the spaces within you where fear lived, where worry lingered, and it began to dissolve them, like mist under the morning sun. Asterisk. When you finally stood before the crystal, you closed your eyes and reached out your hand. The surface was smooth, warm, and alive with energy. The moment you touched it, a wave of calm swept over you. Not just calm, something deeper. It was as if the crystal was speaking directly into your being, whispering not in words, but in feelings. Asterisk. You are enough. Asterisk. You are safe. Asterisk. You are loved. Asterisk. Let go. Asterisk. And in that moment you did. You let go of the heaviness you had carried, the doubts, the fears, the endless thoughts that had weighed on you like chains. They fell away, vanishing into the golden light. You felt lighter, freer, as though you had returned to something pure, something simple, something true. Asterisk. The clearing was quiet, save for the gentle hum of the crystal. You lay down in the grass nearby, gazing up at the stars above. The glow of the crystal bathed you in warmth, while the soft fragrance of the flowers lulled you deeper into peace. Your eyelids grew heavy, your breath steady, your body completely relaxed. Asterisk, the last thought that drifted through your mind before sleep claimed you was this. Asterisk here. In Eldoria, you are healed. Asterisk here. In Eldoria, you are whole. Asterisk, and here, you are finally free to rest. The Whispering Grove, the dawn in Eldoria did not arrive with sudden brightness. It unfolded gently, like a hand opening its fingers to reveal light within. You stirred, slowly waking in the soft grass of the clearing. The golden crystals glow, still surrounding you like a protective shield. The air was cool and fragrant, carrying with it the lingering notes of jasmine and honey. You stretched, not with the heaviness you once knew, but with a body that felt lighter, as if the very weight of yesterday had dissolved in the night. When you sat up, you noticed that the flowers surrounding the crystal were even more vibrant now. Their petals tipped with morning dew that glistened like tiny gems. The golden light seemed softer in daylight, yet no less powerful. It had worked through the night, weaving its way into your being, healing parts of you that had long been neglected. You felt calmer, clearer, as if your mind had been washed clean. The anxious chatter that had once echoed endlessly was now only a faint murmur, distant and powerless. You breathed deeply, inhaling peace, exhaling what remained of worry. It was, then you noticed a new sound, a soft whispering carried by the breeze. At first it seemed like the rustle of leaves, but as you listened closer, you realized it was more than that. It was voices, faint and melodic, weaving together like threads of music. They did not speak in a language of words, but in tones that the heart could understand. You rose to your feet, curious, and began to follow the sound. The path that led away from the crystal was lined with flowers that opened as you passed, releasing gentle fragrances into the air. Each blossom seemed to lean slightly toward you, as though recognizing your presence and offering its blessing. The path wound deeper into the forest, where the silver trees arched high above, their leaves glowing faintly even in daylight. The whispers grew clearer, though still soft, blending with the rustle of branches and the trickle of unseen streams. With each step, you felt yourself walking not just into the forest, but deeper into peace itself. Soon, the path opened into another grove, this one smaller and more intimate. The trees here stood closer together, their branches forming a natural circle, as though they had grown intentionally to create a sanctuary. The ground was covered in soft moss, so plush it felt like a bed beneath your feet. and at the center of the grove stood several smaller crystals, each glowing with a different color: soft blue, gentle green, pale pink, and lavender. Their light shimmered in harmony, weaving together into a gentle aura that filled the space with serenity. The whispers were stronger here, rising and falling like a song sung by many voices. You stepped carefully into the circle, and as you did, the air around you changed. It grew warmer, softer, more alive, like the embrace of someone you love and trust completely. You lowered yourself onto the moss, resting in the very heart of the grove. The moment your body touched the ground, you felt the vibrations of the crystals moving through you, gentle pulses of energy that resonated with your heartbeat. Each crystal seemed to carry its own voice, its own tone of healing. The blue crystal spoke in waves of calm, cooling the restless heat of anxiety within you. The green crystal whispered of renewal, soothing the tiredness in your body and spirit. The pink crystal radiated love, softening the places inside you that felt wounded or forgotten. And the lavender crystal offered peace, quieting the thoughts that still clung to your mind. Together, they sang in harmony, weaving their voices into a lullaby not for the ears, but for the soul. You closed your eyes, breathing deeply, letting the music of the grove move through you. The whispers wrapped around you like a cocoon, holding you gently. And as you surrendered to their song, you began to feel memories surfacing, not sharp or painful, but softened like echoes. You remembered the weight of your stress, the endless tasks, the rushing thoughts that had once followed you even into the night. But here in the grove, they no longer had power. They appeared only as shadows, dissolving quickly into the light each time they surfaced, and in their place came something new: clarity. Whispers spoke to you without words. You are not your fears. You are not your stress. You are more than the weight you carry. The realization settled into you slowly, like rain soaking into dry earth. You breathed it in, let it become part of you. And as you did, you felt a release, a soft but profound letting go. The grove seemed to respond. The crystals pulsed brighter, their colors blending together until they created a soft rainbow glow. The whispers grew warmer, stronger, like a chorus reaching its gentle crescendo. You felt surrounded not just by sound, but by presence, as though the forest itself had gathered here to cradle you in its arms. For a time, you rested there, suspended between waking and dreaming, held in a place where nothing could harm you. Time seemed to lose meaning, stretching and folding until you no longer knew if minutes or hours had passed. It did not matter. All that mattered was this: you were safe. You were healing. You were whole. Eventually, the whispers began to soften again, fading back into the rustle of the trees. The crystals dimmed slightly, though they still glowed gently, as if always watching over the grove. You opened your eyes, feeling refreshed, renewed, as though you had slept a long and dreamless sleep as you stood. The moss beneath your feet seemed to sigh, a tender farewell. The path beyond the grove beckoned, winding deeper into Eldoria. You knew your journey was not yet complete. There was more to discover, more healing waiting for you in the lands ahead. But as you left the grove, you carried its gift with you, the voices of the crystals, the whispers of healing that would never truly fade. They were now part of you, guiding you gently, reminding you in every breath, every step, you are not broken. You are not alone. You are a being of light, worthy of peace, deserving of rest. And so, with heart lighter than before, you stepped forward once more into Eldoria, following the path that glowed faintly beneath your feet, ready for whatever awaited you next. The River of Reflections *, the path from the Whispering Grove curved gently downward, as though leading you into the deeper heart of Eldoria. The air grew cooler, laced with the refreshing scent of water and the distant murmur of a river. The sound was faint at first, like a memory, but with every step it grew clearer, soothing, rhythmic, like the pulse of the land itself. The forest around you opened gradually, the silver trunks of the trees giving way to meadows painted with wildflowers. Each blossom swayed in the breeze as if bowing in greeting. Their colors shimmered not just with natural beauty, but with a glow that seemed to respond to your presence. The more relaxed you became, the brighter they appeared to shine, as if reflecting your inner state back to you. Ahead, the river revealed itself a wide, gentle current flowing with crystalline clarity. Its waters sparkled like liquid glass, catching the sunlight and scattering it into countless dancing reflections. As you drew closer, you realized the river was not just water. Within its depths shimmered soft images, like mirrors of memory and dreams. You knelt at the bank, listening to the soft rush of the current. The sound wrapped around you like a lullaby, and for a moment you simply breathed with the river, your inhale rising with its flow, your exhale sinking with its release. The rhythm was so natural, so effortless. It was as if the river had been waiting for you, ready to carry away the burdens you still held. Asterisk, as you gazed into the water, the reflections shifted, becoming clearer. At first, you saw yourself, your face calm, more serene than you had known it in waking life. But soon, other images surfaced. You saw moments of stress, times when anxiety had gripped you, nights when sleep seemed distant and unreachable. Yet here in the river, those moments looked softer, like shadows touched by light. Asterisk, and something extraordinary happened. Each time you recognized a worry, the river carried it gently downstream, dissolving it into ripples that vanished as if they had never existed. You watched as memories of restless nights, of overthinking, of heavy sighs and hidden tears, were all taken into the current and transformed into shimmering light. Asterisk, the river was teaching you something profound, that nothing you carry is permanent. Stress, like water, flows. Worry, like shadows, fades. All that feels heavy can be released, surrendered into the gentle current that leads always toward peace. Asterisk, you dipped your hand into the water, feeling its coolness against your skin. The sensation spread through you, soothing and cleansing, as though the river was not just touching your body, but reaching into your soul. With each breath, you imagine placing a worry into the river, letting it flow away. No longer yours to hold. Asterisk first. You release the small stresses, the tiny thoughts that buzz like insects. The river carried them away easily, dissolving them into light. Then gently you placed deeper worries into the current, those fears that had followed you for years, the ones you thought you would never be free from. The river accepted them too, without judgment, without effort, transforming them into sparkles that drifted downstream, never to return. Asterisk. As you released, you felt lighter, freer. Your chest expanded with each breath, no longer constricted by invisible weight. The river whispered back to you in tones only the heart could hear. You are safe. You are free. You are whole. Asterisk, time seemed to drift as you sat by the river, watching the reflections, breathing with the flow. At one point, you closed your eyes and simply listened, letting the sound wash over you. The rush of the water became the sound of your own heartbeat, steady, calm, untroubled. You began to feel as though the river and you were not separate at all, but part of one great rhythm, one great flow of life itself. Asterisk, when you opened your eyes again, you noticed something new. On the opposite bank of the river stood a figure, not threatening, but gentle, shimmering faintly like starlight. It was tall and graceful, clothed in flowing robes of silver and gold. Its face glowed softly, not with features you could clearly see, but with an expression of endless kindness. The figure raised a hand in greeting, and though no words were spoken, you felt a message enter your heart. You are not alone in your journey. We walk with you, even when you cannot see us. You felt tears rise, not of sadness, but of release. It was the kind of weeping that comes when you finally feel understood, when the loneliness of carrying burdens alone begins to dissolve. The river caught even your tears, carrying them away, transforming them into sparks of light. The figure across the water lowered its hand, then slowly faded into the trees, leaving you with a lingering sense of presence, of companionship that would never fade. You stayed by the river for what felt like hours, though time here in Eldoria seemed to bend and soften. When you finally rose to your feet, you felt renewed, your spirit lighter, your heart calmer. The river had given you its gift, and you knew you could return to its banks whenever you needed. Even in memory, even in dreams, the path forward glowed faintly, winding along the river's edge before curving deeper into the forest. You followed it, your steps steady, each one carrying you farther from anxiety, closer to peace. The trees leaned gently over the path, their leaves whispering blessings as you passed. Birds with silver feathers flew overhead, their songs blending with the sound of the river until the entire world seemed to sing of healing. And as you walked, you realized something profound. The healing of Eldoria was not just around you, it was within you. The river's current flowed now through your very being, carrying away worry, making space for light. You walked with a smile, the kind that came not from forced joy, but from quiet knowing. A smile born of peace. Ahead, the path glowed brighter, leading you toward the next sanctuary of Eldoria. Your journey was not finished, but you were ready. The forest welcomed you forward, carrying you deeper into the land of healing, into the embrace of the light that awaited. And so, with your heart open and your spirit calm, you followed the glowing trail, the song of the river still echoing in your soul. The trials of reflection asterisk, the dawn in Eldoria, arrived not with a sudden burst of light, but with a soft unveiling, like a curtain being drawn back by gentle, unseen hands. The sky blushed in muted pinks and oranges, while dew shimmered on every blade of grass as though the night had sprinkled the land with silver dust. Asterisk. Alara rose from her rest near the pool of crystal water. She felt a warmth within her heart, a glow that seemed to be in rhythm with the light of Eldoria itself. The journey was teaching her much, yet she knew the hardest part lay ahead. For the healing light was not simply a gift, it was a mirror. Asterisk. You are ready, whispered the guiding voice, calm as the morning breeze. But to carry the light, you must pass through the trials of reflection. Asterisk. Alara nodded, her heart tightening slightly. She followed a winding path that led her deeper into Eldoria. The land grew quieter with each step. The birdsong soft, the wind hushed, and the trees stood taller, their branches arching like cathedral ceilings. Ahead, she saw a series of shimmering gates made of light, each pulsating as if alive. Asterisk. The first gate opened as she approached, inviting her in. Asterisk. The first trial. The mirror of memory. Asterisk. Beyond the gate, Alara found herself standing before a lake so still it reflected not only her image but her very essence. The surface rippled, and suddenly visions began to appear, not of Eldoria, but of her past. Asterisk. She saw herself as a child, laughing with her friends, chasing fireflies under a summer sky. The image warmed her heart, but as the lake shifted, she saw the years when laughter had grown quieter. The struggles, the worries, the mistakes she carried like heavy stones all surfaced before her. A pang of guilt and sadness struck her chest. She turned her eyes away, but the lake called her back. Asterisk. You cannot carry the light, said the voice, if you carry only the burden of shadows. To heal, you must forgive yourself. Asterisk. Alara took a slow breath. She whispered words she had long needed to say. I forgive the girl who made mistakes, who stumbled when the path was unclear. I honor the one who tried, even when she felt small. I let go of the weight I've carried. Asterisk. The lake shimmered, and her reflection changed. No longer fractured, it showed her as she was now, tired yet stronger, fragile yet unbroken. A warmth spread through her chest, and the first gate of light appeared once again, opening to guide her onward. Asterisk. The second trial, the flame of fear. Asterisk. The next realm she entered was darker, lit only by flickering flames that danced around her. Each flame whispered something of fear, a doubt, a voice of worry that had haunted her over the years. Asterisk. You are not enough, hissed one flame. Asterisk. What if you fail? Whispered another. Asterisk. Others will not understand you. A third murmured. Asterisk. The flames grew taller, circling her, their voices louder until they roared like a storm of doubt. Alara fell to her knees, her hands covering her ears, but the voices were inside her mind as much as outside. Asterisk. Her breathing grew shallow. Fear tried to root her in place, but then she remembered the warmth of the crystal pool, the gentle encouragement of the wind, and the soft voice that had guided her. Asterisk. She stood, trembling but resolute. Looking at the flames, she whispered, "You are only fears, not truths. You are echoes, not destiny. You may walk beside me, but you will not control me." Asterisk. As she spoke, the flames softened. They no longer hissed or threatened. Instead, they bent low, forming a glowing pathway of firelight. It led her forward to the next trial, her heart steadier than before. Asterisk. The third trial, the Chamber of Silence. Asterisk. The third gate led her into a vast hall carved of stone and starlight. The silence here was so deep it felt heavy, pressing against her skin. There were no visions, no voices, no distractions, only silence. Asterisk. At first, it was peaceful, but soon the quiet grew unnerving. Without sound, her thoughts grew louder. Every doubt she had tried to bury echoed in her mind. What if I fail? What if I am not strong enough? What if this healing light is not truly mine to carry? Asterisk. Her chest tightened. Tears stung her eyes. The silence seemed to magnify her loneliness, reminding her of the many nights she had wished for comfort and found none. Asterisk. But then she remembered the stillness of the night sky, the peace she had once felt lying beneath the stars. Silence was not only loneliness, it could also be sanctuary. Asterisk. She sat on the smooth stone floor, closing her eyes. She allowed her breath to steady, inhaling slowly, exhaling gently. She let the silence wash over her, not as a burden, but as a balm. Asterisk. In the depths of the silence, she found her center. Her heart no longer raced. Her thoughts no longer clashed. A calmness as vast as the sky filled her. Asterisk. When she opened her eyes, the chamber glowed with soft starlight, and the path forward revealed itself. Asterisk. The fourth trial, the Garden of Letting Go. Asterisk. The fourth trial brought her into a lush garden where every plant seemed alive with memory. She touched a rose, and it showed her the people she had lost, friends, family, moments she could never return to. She touched a vine, and it showed her the regrets she had carried, the what-ifs that haunted her. Asterisk. Her heart ached with the weight of longing. She wanted to hold on to these memories forever, afraid that letting go meant forgetting. Asterisk. But as she wandered deeper, she saw the plants withering under the burden of clinging too tightly to the past. The garden whispered softly, "To carry the light, your hands must be free." Let go, not to forget, but to create space for new growth. Alara closed her eyes and spoke aloud. I honor the past, but I release what I cannot change. I let love remain, but I loosen the grip of regret. Asterisk as she spoke, the withering plants bloomed anew, their petals brighter, their leaves fresher. The garden became a place of renewal, not sorrow. A golden archway appeared among the trees, leading her toward the final trial. Asterisk, the fifth trial. The circle of light, asterisk, at last. She arrived at a great circle carved into the earth, glowing with radiant light. In its center was a small flame, gentle, yet steady, asterisk. This is the final trial, said the guiding voice, softer than ever. Here you must choose. Will you carry the light with all its responsibility? To carry it is to walk with compassion, to heal not only yourself, but those who come to you in need. Alara approached the flame. She saw within it reflections of everything she had faced, the memories, the fears, the silence, the past. All woven together, her heart trembled. But it was not fear, it was awe. She knelt, placing her hands around the flame. It did not burn. Instead, it sank into her palms, flowing into her chest. Her whole being glowed with warmth and radiance. The trials had not defeated her. They had prepared her. She stood, bathed in light, her heart beating in harmony with Eldoria itself. The gates of light opened wide, and she stepped through, carrying the healing light within her. The gift of returning asterisk, the light within Alara pulsed gently as if it were alive, breathing alongside her. It was not heavy, nor was it overwhelming. Instead, it felt like a quiet strength, a flame that could never be extinguished. She stood in awe, feeling the warmth radiating through every part of her, from her fingertips to the very center of her soul. Asterisk, for a long moment, she remained still in the circle of light, listening to the gentle hum that surrounded her. It was as though Eldoria itself was singing a song of welcome, of completion. And then the guiding voice returned, soft and steady. Asterisk, you have carried your fears, your regrets, your silence, your past, and transformed them into light. But the journey is not complete, Alara. What you carry now is not only for yourself, it is for the world beyond Eldoria. The healing light shines brightest when it is shared. Asterisk Alara closed her eyes and breathed deeply. She understood. This light was not meant to be kept hidden in her heart. It was meant to soothe others, to ease the weariness of those who walked burdened as she once had. She felt a pull, a gentle invitation calling her back to the world she had left behind. Asterisk, the path back, asterisk, the gates of light open once more, and beyond them stretched a pathway made of shimmering silver threads. They wove across the air, leading outward, as though connecting the realm of Eldoria to her own world. The path was endless, suspended in the quiet between stars. Asterisk Alara stepped forward, her footsteps soundless on the silver threads. Around her, the stars twinkled like watchful companions. With every step, memories of her journey came alive, the crystal pool of clarity, the gentle breeze of encouragement, the trials she had endured. Each step was a reminder of how far she had come. Asterisk, as she walked, she noticed small sparks of light falling from her hands. They drifted away into the dark like fireflies, scattering into unseen places. She wondered where they went. Then she felt it a whisper at the edge of her mind. Somewhere far away, someone who was restless now found their breath easing. Someone burdened by worry now felt their shoulders lighten. Her light was already touching lives. Asterisk, the realization filled her with a deeper peace. She was not returning empty-handed. She carried a gift that would ripple outward gently, quietly, endlessly. Asterisk. A world in need. Asterisk. When Alara finally stepped off the silver path, she found herself once again standing in the familiar meadow where her journey had begun. The sky was painted with twilight, the horizon glowing softly as day surrendered to night. Yet the meadow was no longer the same. Where once it had seemed lonely and dim, it now shimmered with quiet life. Asterisk, the grass glowed faintly, touched by her presence. The breeze carried warmth instead of chill. The world around her seemed to hum, as though it recognized the light she bore. Asterisk, she looked at her hands, glowing faintly, and then at the sky above. She knew she was not meant to stay only in this meadow. The light was a gift to be shared with the world. And so she began to walk. Asterisk, she walked through villages where people sat with heavy hearts, unable to rest. She offered them a smile, and though they did not know why, their chests felt lighter, their minds softer. She passed by travelers on winding roads who carried burdens of worry. A touch of her hand, a word spoken gently, and they found themselves breathing easier. Asterisk, everywhere she went, she shared without effort. She did not need grand gestures. The light worked in silence, seeping into weary souls, reminding them that peace was possible. Asterisk, the gift of quiet moments. Asterisk, as she journeyed, Alara realized something profound. The healing light was not only in the great trials or the moments of revelation, it was in the simplest acts of being present. Asterisk. One evening, she sat beside a child who could not sleep, her small face scrunched with worry. Alara hummed a soft tune, one she had heard in the silence of the starlit chamber. The child's breath slowed, her eyelids fluttered, and soon she drifted into peaceful dreams. Asterisk, on another night, she found an old man sitting alone under a tree, his hands trembling with the weight of years gone by. She placed her hand over his, not speaking, not offering advice, just being there. And in that silence, he felt comforted, no longer alone. Asterisk, the light taught her that healing was not always loud or dazzling. Sometimes it was as quiet as a deep breath, as simple as listening, as gentle as sitting beside someone in their darkest hour. Asterisk, returning to the forest. Asterisk, weeks passed, and Alara found herself drawn back to the enchanted forest where her journey had begun. The trees welcomed her with rustling leaves, their branches glowing faintly as if bowing in gratitude. Asterisk, she walked the familiar paths, her steps light and unhurried. The crystal pool still shimmered, reflecting the stars above. She knelt beside it, cupping water in her hands, watching as her reflection rippled. But this time, the reflection was different. Asterisk, she no longer saw a weary traveler uncertain of her place. She saw a woman who had faced her fears, embraced her silence, and found her strength. She saw someone who carried light not only for herself, but for others. The breeze stirred, wrapping around her like a warm embrace. And then the guiding voice returned, soft as ever. Asterisk, you have walked far, Alara, but remember, the journey of healing never ends. Each day is a chance to choose peace. Each moment, a chance to share light. When doubt returns, remember the trials. When worry rises, return to silence. The light will always be with you. Asterisk, Alara smiled, her heart steady. She understood now, asterisk, the eternal light asterisk, as night settled once more over Eldoria. Eldora lay beneath the stars. The air was cool, the earth soft beneath her, and the rhythm of her breath matched the quiet hum of the world. She felt no rush, no pressing need to go anywhere. She simply allowed herself to be asterisk. Her eyes grew heavy, not from exhaustion, but from peace. The kind of peace that comes when burdens are set down, when fears are quieted, when the heart feels whole. Asterisk before sleep took her, she whispered words into the night, words that floated into the air. Carried by the healing light she now bore. Asterisk, may those who are weary find rest. May those who are burdened find release. May those who feel alone remember they are not. The light of Eldoria is with us all. Asterisk, and with that, she drifted into a deep dream-filled sleep, her face serene, her spirit glowing. The stars above seemed to twinkle more brightly, as though they too carried her blessing outward into the vastness of the world, reaching anyone who needed it. Asterisk, Eldora's story did not end that night. It continued in every soul who felt a little lighter, every dream that came a little softer, every heart that found courage to rest. Asterisk, the healing light of Eldoria lived on, quiet, eternal, and infinite. Asterisk, and now, dear dreamer, as the story of Eldora and the healing light of Eldoria comes to a close, let your own heart rest in the glow of its message. Asterisk, the journey you have taken tonight was not only a story, it was a reflection of you. The fears Eldora carried, the silence she embraced, the light she discovered, they live within you as well. Even in moments when anxiety feels heavy or when the world feels overwhelming, remember that there is a light inside you too. A light that cannot be dimmed. A light that waits patiently for you to return to it. Asterisk, as you breathe slowly and deeply now, let that truth settle into your soul. You are safe. You are held. You are enough exactly as you are. Asterisk, with each exhale, release the weight of the day. With each inhale, welcome peace, calm, and quiet healing. Let the night wrap around you like a gentle blanket, soft and steady, carrying you deeper into rest. Asterisk, you do not have to do anything more. You do not have to strive or plan or worry. Tonight, your only task is to rest, to allow yourself the gift of sleep, to drift peacefully into dreams where healing continues in silence. Asterisk, may the light of Eldoria stay with you through the night, guiding you into the deepest, most peaceful sleep. And when morning comes, may you rise refreshed, calm, and renewed. Asterisk, good night, dear soul. Sleep deeply, sleep peacefully, sleep in the gentle light of healing.